Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. After using the PS5 for a few months, I want to give you guys a review and share my thoughts on whether it's worth getting a PS5. The new DualSense Controller is a great improvement from the DualShock 4. The upgraded haptic feedback and adaptive triggers result in a more immersive gaming experience. Both the left and right triggers provide feedback depending on its functionality in the game. For example, in Call of Duty Black Ops, the triggers have varying resistance depending on whether you're shooting, aiming, or reloading. The bigger controller is also great as it feels more comfortable and also helps provide more grip than the DualShock 4. I was worried that the bigger controller would make it feel like that of the Xbox, but it still feels like the PlayStation controller we're all familiar with. Another interesting change is the built-in microphone. Although this is something that I have never used, some users who do not like wearing headphones may appreciate it. The mute button also comes in very handy as it allows you to effortlessly mute your microphone without having to let go of the controller or exit the game. Another improvement of the controller that might be appreciated by many is that it is charged by using USB-C. The first game that I played on the PlayStation 5 was Astro's Playroom. It is a fun and short game to play if you want to experience the controller's capabilities such as the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. A new feature of the PS5 that brings console gaming closer to PC is that it supports ray tracing. This is something that you will be able to enable in the graphic settings of some games such as Spider-Man and Call of Duty Cold War. The PS5 is backwards compatible, meaning that you can play PS4 games such as Formula 1 2020 on the PlayStation 5. For games that have both a PS4 and PS5 version, you can easily switch between the two versions if you want to play with friends who have the PS4 version of a game. In FIFA 21, for example, your online profile will be different for the PS4 and PS5 versions. My favorite improvement of the PS5 from the PS4 has to be the loading speed. Switching between games and menus takes a fraction of the time from the PS4, while the loading of PS4 games on PS5 takes about 50% less time than on the PS4 Pro. The PS5's faster speed is in part thanks to its SSD, which claims to load 2GB in about 0.27 seconds. In contrast, the PS4's HDD loaded 1GB in about 20 seconds. In terms of memory, the digital edition comes with an 835GB SSD, although in reality you only have access to about 670GB of that, with the remaining memory being reserved for system files and the PlayStation's operating system. One of the most significant changes to the PS5 in comparison to the PS4 is its design. The middle black section is quite glossy and reflective, in contrast to the white parts which have a matte and textured finish, including very small PS logos on it, which is totally unnecessary but a very cool detail. Overall, the console has a more futuristic look, which I think is an improvement from the PS4's bland design. It definitely looks better in person than I initially thought when it was first revealed. The console can be placed both horizontally and vertically thanks to the removable base. It does, however, look a lot better in the vertical orientation. The digital edition measures 390mm wide, 92mm in height, and 260mm in depth. The front includes a USB-C port with USB 3.1 Generation 2 and the USB-A port with USB 2.0. The back has two USB-A ports with USB 3.1 Generation 2, an HDMI 2.1 port, Gigabit Ethernet, and the power port. The user interface is somewhat similar to that of the PS4, but a bit simpler with the menu now centered around the Games tab. In the games library, it is now split into two categories with PS5 games on top and PS4 at the bottom. There is also the media tab at the top, which is where you will be able to find apps like Netflix or Disney+. As you can see from the settings page, it is exactly the same as that of the PS4, and thus, there is nothing to say here. pressing the PS button now shows a simpler menu bar at the bottom with customizable options. In terms of improvements, I do think the memory size of the digital version should have been greater, given that all games will be stored in the PlayStation and that game sizes have been increasing a lot lately due to graphics, Warzone being an example. I would also want to see support for 1440p. Currently I have to play 1080p in my 1440 monitor. So should you buy a PlayStation 5? If you're a console gamer, then you should absolutely get the PS5. I think the speed difference between the PS4 and the PS5 alone makes it worth upgrading. One thing to keep in mind, however, with regards to next-gen consoles is that it will not be replacing your PC. Although the PS5 seems to be a great improvement from the PS4, particularly in the loading speeds and graphics, you can still get far better results with a higher-end custom PC. After all, a good custom PC will also cost you a lot more than the PS5. Thank you all for watching. If you have any suggestions for product reviews you'd like to see in the future, or more PS5 videos such as comparison with custom PC, please let me know in the comments.